Thank you.
I call Eóin Tennyson.
Thank you, Mr Acting Speaker, and I rise as the first member of this House to have been born after the Good Friday Agreement was signed. It beggars belief that we're here today, 24 years on, with those institutions once again being placed in jeopardy. My generation was promised more than this. We were promised not just peace, but progress. Progress that has never been fully realised because of the poor political leadership that is on display in this chamber today. It is both difficult to fathom and yet at the same time depressingly predictable that we are here today, 4 weeks on from an Assembly election, without a functioning Assembly or Executive. A sad indictment on our politics at any time, but particularly shameful when people in our community are struggling to heat and eat and are facing some of the worst hospital waiting lists anywhere in Western Europe. Since the election, the Alliance Party has been here every Monday doing what we can to serve our constituents and willing to get on with the full jobs we were elected to do. Today is no exception. Again, we stand ready to support the nomination of a Speaker, and over the course of today's proceedings will likely support both Patsy McGlone and Mike Nesbitt for the role. Indeed, little over 2 weeks ago, over 70% of members in this chamber, nationalist, unionist and none of the above, supported the appointment of a Speaker. My vote and the votes of my 16 colleagues were effectively disregarded. How can it be that the votes of a cross-community party be excluded from a cross-community vote? That one party be able to block an appointment is an affront to democracy and disrespectful to the people that I represent. The case for reform has never been clearer. Shamefully, the DUP turned up, signed the register, took their salaries and then refused to do the jobs they were elected to do and serve our community. They claim to be exercising leverage. They are treating the most vulnerable in our community as leverage. Their actions over the past number of weeks will not hurt Boris Johnson or the EU, but it will hurt people languishing on waiting lists. It will hurt people relying on food banks to feed their kids. The DUP claim to have a mandate for this course of action, having never mentioned blocking formation of an Assembly at any point during the election campaign. But let's be very clear, we all have mandates in this chamber. The majority of MLAs want to be pragmatic on the protocol, and an even greater majority want to get on with the job of actually governing. Mr Acting Speaker, we've heard much today about the Good Friday Agreement and about equality. You will forgive me for taking no lectures from the party to my right on either. They have spent a lifetime railing against both. The lowest moment of the recent election campaign was when I knocked a door and a lady came to her front door in a winter coat. She said the kids were at school, she couldn't afford to pay for gas, so she had to save for when they got home. It is beyond me, after 2 years of a pandemic, when our people and public services are on their knees, that some still seek to pursue even further chaos and instability. Over the past 2 weeks since the last sitting, the cost of living crisis has deepened. Even further funds have gathered waiting to be allocated. Today, we have an opportunity to end this seemingly interminable drift, to finally deliver real leadership built on hope, not fear, delivery, not division, to build a more fair, shared and equal society. For the sake of all of the people that we represent, I urge the colleagues to my right, change course, do the right thing, support the election of a Speaker today, and let's serve our entire community together. Thank you.
I call Conor Murphy.
August Can Corla.